Chinchfiel 311. The famous ghost of the Black Wolf Central finally let go of her past. To think that she was able to do it and finally get peace upon her is outrageous! She did well for herself to keep on taking those who disrespected her and mocked her number. She almost had victory in sight. Even my own brother feared her. Yes, Thomas was afraid of her, and she saw the fear in his eyes. I sensed that 311 was so close to taking him, and Soda would have lost its #1 engine. That would have also brought me some closure. But no, somehow that ghost not only spared my brother, but the other engines too. Soon, Thomas, the day of when your end on this railway will come. I will see to it that you will never get to see the light of day. Always remember, brother, wherever you go, my shadow follows. And at some point, when the final hour is upon us, our story, our past, and our confrontations will be laid to rest. And once you're gone, joining me and the rest of our brothers and sisters, the island and its railway's reputation and its legacy will be shattered, and you will soon be forgotten, courtesy of the ghost train of Sodor!
Seeing David with that long coal train must bring back memories when he and his brothers hauled fast freight services and long trains of coal hoppers especially since that's what the Norfolk and Western built them for, and it was one of the major coal haulers of the time. Well, at least that was until the new modern diesels came and replaced them.
The era of steam couldn't last forever, Louise. Truth hurts at times. But besides that, David's design ranks up unmatched records of performance in service. And from what I've learned about him and the rest of the 2664 Class A's, they were the most powerful steam engines in the world, with tractive effort of 140,000 pounds. But with David being the only survivor of that class, he produced 125,897 pounds, when compared to his rival with the Challenger Michael, who could deliver 97,350 pounds of tractive effort. This may be of some interest, Jason, but we British engines could rival that of David. One of them can, because incidentally, an LMS Duchess Pacific, or Coronation class, develops 40,285 pounds of tractive effort. They have the largest boiler and firebox of any LMS locomotives, and the most powerful Pacifics in Britain. They were designed to take on 14 Coach Scott Expresses up both Sharp and Beta Bank on the West Coast Main Line unaided.
That sounds mighty impressive there, Scotsman, but if I was to tell David that, he'd perhaps laugh that off like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, if he keeps on whistling like that, we're going to go deaf or fall for bits.
That I'll have to agree with, little un. That David sure is a loud big boy. With the high-pitched tone whistle that he has, it rings the heck out of human beings' ears, and can be heard for miles. I don't know how his crew and American trains can stand it. Even I said the same thing, Scotsman, yet I'm so used to it. Yet the one I have is not what my class had, for mine is identical of that of Nickel Plate 765, because the builders who built me said it suited me.
Why does David have a high-pitched whistle, Louise? Just curious.
Well, that's the whistle he was fitted with there, Peter Sam. You see, the Norfolk and Western standard whistle was the Hancock 3-chime, which is what I have, along with my sister. However, the Class A's and the Class Y6s were fitted with the homemade Hooter single-note whistle, something that the two classes of engines had in common. Now see, back when me and my siblings were in service, I used to hear from my sister 611 that they would get annoyed at some of the engines and tried to get to sleep early or stay away from them, but their hooters would drive them to the point of near insanity.
And to think me and my Doncaster brothers and sisters couldn't stand the whistles of our A4 cousins when they came into service during the 1930s.
Speaking of which, we've not heard the whistle of Chinchfiel 311. How come?
You weren't told about it? It's been over 2 weeks now since it ended. The curse is gone, and the ghost engine got peace and moved on.
Really? It's really over?
I wasn't there to see it happen, but Gordon and Thomas told me yesterday that 311 had done the unthinkable, and according to eyewitnesses who were there up on Black Wolf Mountain, she crossed the bridge all the way to the other side and vanished, thus ending the curse at last.
Thank goodness. Every night when I tried to sleep, I kept on thinking about it, and if it would come running by like it did on that day.
Louise?
Yes, Jason? Something on your mind?
Actually, it's about what David said. He said that he and you saw the ghost of 311, but she never took you both. He never told us about it, and maybe you could tell us what just happened on that day. After all, you didn't encounter 311 face to face, but rather caught a sight of her. But how did it all unfold?
It was during the year of 1988 or somewhere around the peak of the summer season. Norfolk Southern, which owned David, myself, and my youngest sister Jane, aka 611, and gave us permission to visit the Chinchfield on a 2-day tour. Then we headed to the Highland Valley Logging and Mining Company Railroad before we came to the former Campton and Southwestern Railroad, where a special steam convention was being held, and we was the main attractions. We stayed there for about a month, taking in turns to hauling the tour train up and down the line of Black Wolf Mountain. It was a rather fun experience, but that soon turned to terror, for when we double-headed our train on a rainy day, David heard the bell and whistle of 311 coming from the mountain high above us. Now, see, at first I thought he was hearing things until I heard it too. Then when we departed on the return trip, we could hear her demonic laughter, which was very disturbing to say the least. This would go on for the rest of the remaining days during our time on former CSW lines, and we wanted to get out of there in case we became new victims of 311's curse. We never saw the engine face to face, but one night when we were resting, we could see the new bridge, and there, with some other train enthusiasts, we saw her horrid and demonic form, with red smoke, trying to cross that bridge, but she vanished halfway. It was an experience me and David never wanted to have again. The enthusiasts who saw it mistakenly thought they saw Frisco 1522, but it wasn't. We would tell the other engines about this and promised never to tell anyone else. That was until I accidentally mentioned it during our visit here 29 years later, much to David's dismay.
It's kind of ironic that you did, Louise.
Now that you ask me, it's my turn. When are we to return to the States?
From what my driver read on his calendar, we're leaving first thing tomorrow at the crack of dawn early in the morning. The Soto controller has given us special trains to pull later today as part of a farewell gift to us.
That's good to know, though I'm gonna miss working here, as will Ariel, Luke, and David.
I'm gonna miss it too, Louise. Hauling these freight trains and local passenger services were awesome. Though my designers said I couldn't pull passenger trains, for my class were not built for it. But in the specifications of my design, I can, though I am limited in pulling mainline express trains. It's funny that a replica triplex like you can even pull passenger trains at all, Jason. But I'm really impressed. I'm sure the other engines felt the same too. Some did, but others were unsure of what to think.
It's been quite interesting to see what our American counterparts look like after seeing them in pictures and TV. Yet seeing it in person was something else. Hope you come back someday.
Me too. I've had some really good parallel runs with you, Louise, including some with Luke and Ariel, and the passengers loved it. Not to mention it brought back a lot of memories when I used to do that during my tour in Australia.
Like Ariel said, we thank Sodor's controller very much for bringing us over to spend the autumn season with you. It's been such a great honor despite what happened with 311. I'm just glad it's over now that she's at peace.
Indeed. Hi there, Thomas. Had a good sleep? Are you alright, Thomas? Why the no response? What's up with the little blue tank engine? Do you know Scotsman? It beats me, Eagle, but I'll have to go and talk to him when I can find the right time to do so. But if I were to guess, it must be something of a family matter, 'cause I've heard he's had some encounters with someone in the last few years. Whoever it was, I'll soon know.